tour, and we're still in Belgium, but we're heading to the Somme today. This is family reality.
Crazy kids.
Up here, where the Germans have dug in and built small concrete shelters. There's a number of them throughout the hill.
They're the roofs, or just flotsam, like shrapnel from the bunkers, sort of thing, or whatever you call.
Yeah.
Broken up concrete.
Yeah, there are bits of bunkers that are still in place, but
Finally, some German
created areas here. These are the results of mining and counter-mining operations. So we blow them, they pull back. We take the ground, they come under, they blow us. We pull back, and it's this constant movement. Any attacks over ground here will find to be suicidal. But this was just too much a commanding position. You take the trees away, you take the houses away, you can see for miles from here, as we'll see when we get to the other side of the hill. This is the one blown on the 7th of June by Oliver Woodward. And the switch that he used to blow it is in the Canberra Museum. It's like a big electrical. It wasn't a plunger, it was a big electrical switch. Yeah.
That is the big one in the movie. So
That's the
not
one.
in the
Yeah.
movie, but you know what I mean.
It's by no means the biggest that was blown in the war. That was the Loch Nagar crater, and it's difficult to assess the scale of this now because of all the trees and the fact that later fighting and artillery fire has blown a lot of the lid back into the bottom. So it would have been much deeper than it looks now, and the sides would have been coming up. Yeah. The railway cutting is just across to my right here now. Yeah. But you can imagine what it must have been like to throw that switch and for this amount of earth to be thrown up into the air, and then multiply that 19 times along the ridge.
Jeez. Yeah.
One of the officers was asked, will it help us to win the war? He said, I don't know, but we're going to change the geography of Belgium. And they did. They literally blew the side out of the ridge.
And where were they in relation? Where's the charge going on?
They're back there.
Right,
Yeah.
long way back.
The British lines are in that direction. German lines are here. Yeah.
Right here.
Of course, once they'd charged the mine here, they had to start bringing sandbags full of earth back in to block the tunnel.
That's right.
So they'll have about 10 yards of sandbags tightly packed in, and then maybe a 3-yard gap and 10 yards of sandbag, because you want the force to go up, not back through the tunnel. Yeah.
It's a skill.
Indeed.
Killing people is a total skill.
Indicates the position of the German line as it was, I think it's December 14, so fairly early in the war. There's another one up there that marks the position of first the French, then the Allied lines. Yeah, they weren't necessarily occupied at the same time. It's so close together, you could just lob a grenade into the other trench, you know. So although both lines will be occupied, not necessarily at the same time.
So that's like 20 metres, if that? Not even.
Yeah.
15 metres. That's brilliant.
Scary stuff when you've got people lobbing hand grenades around. You know? So the lines existed, but they weren't necessarily held at the same time. You know, they moved back and forwards. You know, we blow them and they pull back a bit, they blow us and we pull back a bit. Scary place.
It's just long catching, right?
If only the Belgians and the French realised the potential of these places. I know they're sad places, but there should be more of this.
The problem is that the front has got some small arms damage from the Second World War on it. Yeah. This one just outside the gate here is to the British Light Division. They were infantry but weren't hampered with as much equipment, so they were quick moving infantry. The problem with them is you've got to have a unit behind them supporting them, because they're going to run out pretty quick. Yeah, but pretty quick on their feet. And then just over near the edge of the bridge there, you'll see what looks like a headstone. That's a Second World War memorial to 2 guys from the French resistance. They were captured in Lille. The train was bringing them up from Lille. We don't know why, but it stopped in the cutting, and we don't know whether they were taken out and just a bullet through the back of the head, or whether they were shot trying to escape. It's likely they were executed. You know, why would the train stop in the cutting? Yeah. Dangerous place for a train to stop. Okay.
all this land was bought by an Englishman, and he just left it and didn't fill any of the holes, and he obviously knew what. He had a bit of brains, I think. We're in the crater of Hill 60 right now, and there's all these other little deficits, craters around.
Incredible, huh?
Credible. It's so
It's
credible.
incredible.
It's incredible.
It's so credible.
Can I just stay down there again? I'll take a look.
Yeah.
So this is where the Germans'
Check out my map.
lines were. This is their back trenches.
Check out my maps.
Amazing. Crater of Hill 60.
And all these bits of stones are all remains of German bunkers. You can even see inside almost down there.
Look, there's a hole down.
And another one here.
There's the railway cutting.
And there's the train where that headstone where that guy would have been
So
killed.
basically, this
There's the
whole
bunker
hill
down there.
was created as a cutting from the railway. They built the railway. We've got it just go up here and then go back.
All these bits of concrete, and it's dotted all around the remains of German bunkers. Here's quite a large pillbox actually, not too destroyed.
Probably a gun position, is it?
It looks like it is a little bit. Poppy's inside. Do you want to go around the back and have a look?
Look at the structural.
You can see inside there. Just come around the back. And this would have been down, probably I'm standing above where the trench was, and would have been the entrance here. It's amazing.
So here we are at Hill 60. This hill was basically created well before the war. It was the overburden from a railway cutting cut back there. This was the German lines, and if you just look around, that's the big crater over there where the Australians blew it.
Yeah, we just were.
But this is what the whole of northern France and Belgium would have looked like directly after the war, obviously without the grass. But the rest of it has been filled in. I mean, this is the real thing. Pockmarks, shell holes, crater holes, etc. When people were making the decisions, they just wanted to get back to farming. They didn't want to, obviously, leave the land like this. But an English guy came back after the war and bought this and maintained it for many years and then handed it over to the local authorities, and now it's a memorial. So we're walking over lots of German bodies on this side, and the English line was just over there. And if those trees and those houses weren't there, you get a beautiful view into Ypres. So it was a great position
For the
for the
artillery.
Germans. Yeah,
They could look at the thing. Here's
they could
another
just
bunker
fire.
here.
Yeah,
There's a,
you can see how they're all dug into the top of the hill.
yeah, you can see this would be the door. There'd probably be a trench running right here, like
Yeah, there'd be all sorts of trenches.
yeah, and then
going
you'd walk
everywhere.
in. More of it here.
Yeah,
This
so you
is
can
probably
see why they
underground.
wanted this position. It was a beautiful view for
Yeah,
the
look,
artillery.
there's one here.
And as the guide said, you basically just got to look at the top of the church, and then you can work out where the railway line is, and you bomb the crap out of that.
Hmm.
And as the Brits, the Allies, held Ypres for virtually the entire war. The Germans were there right at the front, but they were pushed back. It was a really important position. Yeah, look at that crater over there. That was retaliation. For Hill 60 was that side. Well, this is Hill 60, but the Australian crater was there. And then that's retaliation on the British side. And the Germans undermined the Brits and bombed the crap out of their lines. And look, retaliation. German concrete's
Yeah.
very hard to blow up, but it can happen.
Probably the first and only example of German concrete being destroyed.
It's good stuff.
Sure is.
And they knew it, and the Brits thought they could penetrate it, but they couldn't. Look, there's those sheep.